Okay, great. So I can kick off with just a welcome. This session is totally for you and about you, so I'm going to make these introductory comments very quick. Thank you very much for joining us. Jen, if you can switch to the next slide. The nonprofit partnership that the Community Foundation has with the community is something that we've been working on for quite some time. We did, as you know, we did focus sessions quite some time ago and asked the nonprofit sector, what are you looking to the Community Foundation for? And we believe that a strong nonprofit sector really does add to the vibrancy and livability of the community, which is the mission of the Community Foundation, to make this a really great place to live. And nonprofits are looking to us to be a funder. They're also looking to us to provide opportunities for education and networking and collaboration amongst each other and with other funders in the community. I'll talk a little bit about some of our grant deadlines that we have coming up. I'll talk about that at the end of the meeting. Also about an educational opportunity that's coming up later this year. But today, the networking opportunity, this is an idea that really came out of our June 15 session with nonprofits and the local funders as an opportunity to get together and have a chance to talk amongst yourself. We love and encourage collaboration. The best way to encourage that is to have you all in the same room and discuss what's going on with your organizations, and maybe some of those natural partnerships will come together amongst you. So in the day and age of COVID, these sessions for now will be held virtually, but I think that we can do some things that will be really, really helpful in this time. So I'm going to actually turn it over to Jenna. She's going to talk a little bit about the technical aspects of today's session, and then we'll be turning it over to you because this is about discussion. So Jenna can pilot us through that.
Yep, this will be brief, just a couple of expectations for those who aren't familiar with Zoom. We will be doing the networking until about 10:45 a.m. and then we're going to switch to some other announcements that Sue will give you. This is a time for peer-to-peer communication, so questions and answers are welcome. Just a note to mute yourself if you're not talking. Sometimes background noise can be a bit distracting, and so the best way to avoid that is just to mute yourself. And if you don't know how to do that, it's on your screen in the bottom. It should be bottom left-hand corner, possibly, if your screen is the same as mine. If you would like to raise a question or a comment, all you need to do is simply unmute yourself. You have the ability to do that on your own. And if you could say your name and your organization before you start talking, that might be helpful to the group. If you would like to submit a chat to the group, you can do that on the bottom of your screen. You should see a little box that says chat on it. If you click on that, you can write a message to the whole group if you'd like to submit a question without interrupting the discussion at the time. Or you can message somebody individually. Say you want to connect, say I want to connect with Sue Nelson at a different time. I can directly message her and chat with her. So to begin, we're going to start with a poll question, and I'll let Sue introduce this, but if you're not familiar with poll questions, all I'm going to do is launch a poll, and it'll give you a little bit of time to submit your response, and then we can look at the poll after everyone has submitted.
Okay, and just to get an idea of who we have in the room, if you could just mark A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or other on the poll that Jenna just put up, and she'll let us know what our room looks like. I did send a list of who registered ahead of time, so you do have that list as well. I sent that this morning. So that doesn't include email addresses, so if something comes up that you want to connect with someone after the meeting, you have an email address to do that. So how are we doing?
Looks like we're 93% there. So I
Okay.
will end the poll and I can show those results to each of you.
Okay. Got a lot of funders in the room. We've got a lot of human services in the room. Little arts, culture. Okay, great. And like I said, you have the list. You know who's attending with the registration list. So just to kind of kickstart the conversation today, I did send these possible ideas for you to make an introduction as we go around the room, and you know, each can make a little comment. These are just some ideas maybe to kickstart what you would like to say. We are actually ahead of time, which is great, which will give us a little more time for chatting and discussion as we go along. But if you can kind of keep your comments to maybe two minutes or less per organization, that would be helpful. And I think maybe to facilitate that, what we will try to do is maybe I'll go alphabetically from the list that we have and just go around the room and we'll start that way. But from the Community Foundation standpoint, we do have something big to talk about. It's a huge announcement with the Community Foundation, and that is the retirement of our CEO and Executive Director. And hopefully I can make these comments without crying, because I don't know if I've ever in a public venue been able to say thank you to Jean Tehan for the service she's provided to the community as the leader of the Community Foundation for the last 32.5 years. Jean's been with us a long time and has really set the course for the Community Foundation for the future. And I personally want to say thank you to her. I've been a part of her team for 32 years. At the end of the month, my anniversary is coming up. That was probably one of the first really good decisions she made, was to build a strong team, and it has been an honor to be a co-worker with Jean for 32 years, and I know that I personally will miss her a lot. So I wish you all the best, and Jean, if you have something you'd like to say, I welcome that.
Sue, that was really beautiful. Thank you so much. I want to thank you. I want to thank our entire team for being so talented and strong and committed to our community and to our nonprofit community. I'm so proud of everybody on our team. I'm so proud of our board of directors. I know that there is not going to be an interruption of service because we have such a talented staff and committed board. And I do want to also personally thank our nonprofit community. It has been a privilege to work with many of you over the years. We've all worked with you, and you're the front line. You're doing the heavy lifting. We appreciate it. We appreciate the work that you do to help us accomplish our mission of enriching quality of life. So thank you to all of you. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Jean. So I believe that Jenna's going to put the slides aside so that we can see each other a little bit better and differently. So hopefully you'll be able to see a few more of our friends on the page right now. Do what you need to do that. This is your time. This is your time to talk a little bit about your organization and what you got going on. So Lori Plaza, are you with us? Yeah, I see you. Lori, why don't you start out by telling us a little bit about what's going on with Alzheimer's right now?
Well, good morning, everyone. It's very nice to see everybody. It's kind of nice to have somebody in the room besides myself. We at the Alzheimer's Association have been working from home since March 13th. We've been given an order to extend our mail forwarding service through May 31st of 2021. So it looks like we will be at home for a while. I can tell you that our programs and services area has been extremely busy during the COVID pandemic situation. Many people who have been working outside of their home and just returning home to care give someone are now with their loved one 24/7 and noticing just how far the disease has progressed in their person, and many of them also have someone in a home that they can no longer visit. So they do need a lot of care and support. We were able to, within 72 hours, switch over to providing programs and services virtually. So that was a pretty remarkable time period to be able to have that happen. Our walks are coming up in September. We are still having them. We are encouraging the teams to walk in their own neighborhood by themselves, or pick a path or up the Red Mountain Trail or whatever works. No large gathering for the walks. I take care of the walks in Wausau, Marshfield, and Stevens Point on 3 different weekends in September. And they are going ahead as planned, like I said. I look forward to talking with you individually or answering questions later. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Just wondering, when it comes to a collaboration idea, might there be some organizations that could work with you? Let's maybe say volunteers, maybe some of the kids from the Boys and Girls Club that could be a part of your walk. So
Absolutely.
That we're
yes.
hoping we can connect on.
Yes, we do. We are going to have the Promise Garden ceremony, which is a big deal for the Alzheimer's Walk. I was able to secure the green space in the triangle area in front of the courthouse on the Grand Avenue side. So we will be planting that garden early in the morning on Saturday, September 26th with artificial flowers representing each phase of Alzheimer's. There's a great opportunity there to either place them and or show up later to help clear that away. And I do have some other opportunities for placing yard signs with the dates on and some posters. So just reach out if you feel like you have some people that would be able to help out with that or are able to. Everything is done very, very safely and socially distanced. So you can keep that in mind.
All right, great. Tara, Aspirus Health Foundation. What's going on with the Health Foundation?
Well, I'm not Kaylin, so that's new. Kaylin moved to a different position over in Stevens Point working for the Century Foundation. So I got lucky enough to step in as the interim director for the time being. So I still have my current role in community health. So kind of a natural fit, but a little bit different. So there's a learning curve, but lots of changes at Aspirus.
It's exciting, Tara. Exciting.
Exciting and fun. And, yeah.
just another thing, and just another thing. Congratulations on that. So, is there a timeline for your interim right now? Correct?
Correct.
Is there a timeline that they're looking to fill that position permanently?
No, I think with just the changes of COVID every day and just kind of not knowing what the future holds, I think we're revamping some of our events and our fundraising efforts and things like that, and just kind of waiting to see what that all looks like and
sure.
When and if there's the need to fill the position. So
Sure.
I think just taking it day by day and
sure. I think there'll be a pattern of that. COVID-19 has kind of changed all of our lives a little bit and the way we're looking forward. So congratulations, Tara. Linda, Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Hey everyone. Well, I want to first thank Sue and the team at the Community Foundation for providing, and United Way for providing our COVID relief funds. We've had a really great time. Our staff, it's really not me, our staff putting together the activity kits and the meal kits for our families. As everyone knows, we're about relationships. So we, with this turn in events in our world, we're really trying to focus on relationships, whether it's between our bigs and our littles, but really our families. Our kids have been out of school for 6 months. So some of those relationships in the families probably need a little boosting up. I know ours does in our family. So just kidding. But we have really adapted to our new world. We have gone virtual. When this all happened, we kind of came together and decided how are we going to keep our matches together and how are we going to do enrollments for our volunteers and our families. So our staff has really, become Zoom masters, and started doing enrollments for volunteers, and we have actually had some virtual matches, and we also do some safe social distancing matches in parks with masks. So it's nice to see, you know, some things coming back a little bit. Unfortunately, our office shut down the day before our Bowl for Kids Sake event was going to happen, literally the day before. So that was a scramble. So that our Bowl for Kids Sake didn't really happen as we thought it would. We tried to do some other things, and we just made the decision to postpone our Big Taste fundraiser until next year, October of 21. So we're looking at some different options online for Big Taste. Obviously, with major fundraisers taking a hit, our biggest needs right now are funding and volunteers. You know, we have about 100 kids waiting on our waiting list, over 100. So we're still accepting volunteers. So that is where we are at.
I see Ellen is here as well from Big Brothers Big Sisters. Shout out to Ellen. Did you have anything else you'd like to add?
Ellen, you have to take yourself off mute.
Okay. I think Linda covered it really well. I do the Marathon, Abbotsford, Athens, and Bozeman school districts. So we've kind of reached out to the school districts to see where they're at and letting our bigs and littles meet again. And most of them are completely on board as long as school is running, that the matches will still happen in the schools that I said.
I also want to congratulate Linda. I understand some changes have been made at the Big Brothers Big Sisters with leadership there, with Jerry leaving as the executive director. We've got a couple co-executives now.
Yep.
If you want to mention that real quick.
So after 18 years of being at Big Brothers Big Sisters, I can finally say I'm one of the executive directors.
Yeah.
So I share that role with my colleague Beth Conard, who I have worked with for the past, since she was 16 years old. She was a big sister on my caseload. So Beth and I have a long history at Big Brothers Big Sisters and really share the same vision for our organization and passion. So I'm really excited to work with Beth and to continue doing great things in the community with her and the great staff that we have.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Kim and Carol from the Boys and Girls Club. What do you have to tell us today?
Good morning. Thank you so much for coordinating this. So the Boys and Girls Club will wrap up our summer programming next week, Wednesday. We have been serving about 40% of our normal capacity. Our kids are all wearing masks. Our staff have been wearing masks all summer. Our focus this summer has really been on supporting our kids, especially with academic and social skills. We saw when kids walked through our doors on June 8th that COVID and that isolation really stunted some of their opportunity and their growth. So it's been really good to see them connect with their friends and with our staff. They've been taking every educational opportunity that we've put in their path and really absorbing it. Everything from reading to STEAM challenges to good character and leadership development. We will wrap up programming next week, Wednesday, with our annual summer variety show that is now open to the public this year. We have been serving meals since March 17th. We will surpass 25,000 meals and snacks next week that have been distributed to the community, both here and at the DC Irish Junior High. We'll take a break for that for about 10 days and restart on September 1st. It's our typical summer shutdown. We'll do some building repairs and cleaning, staff training, and preparation for the school year. We know that we will be open for limited capacity in the after school hours from 3 to 6 at this site for sure. Going into the school year, and we'll continue 2 sites of meal and snack service as well. One of the most exciting things for our organization, there's 2 things. One, we are Blessings in a Backpack pickup site starting every Wednesday. So last week, today, and then next week, Wednesday, for families, and we'll continue that during the school year as well. But on September 9th, Fiona Vang, who is Wisconsin's Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year, will compete at the regional level. She is headed to UW-Madison and will compete virtually, much to our dismay, but she's excited and She'll compete against, it looks like, about 18 other kids to become the Midwest Youth of the Year, and then she would go on to nationals. So she is the first ever Boys and Girls Club of the Wausau Area Youth of the Year to represent the state of Wisconsin. She speaks for 144,000 youth, and she is going to be ready to tell her story and represent Wausau very well. So.
Carol, anything you want to add from your office?
Well, my office is currently.
Welcome, Carol.
It's nice to see everybody. Yeah, and everything Kim said kind of wraps up all the discussion points that we've asked for. But we've been working hard, and I've been working hard applying for funding and trying to connect with people in the community and outside of the community to help support the summer programs and the extended programs that we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Kelly, from the Center for Visual Arts.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, again, I'm Kelly Price from the Center for the Visual Arts. We sit right in downtown Wausau, right next door to the Grand Theater. For things that are new and exciting, I think pretty much everything is new and exciting at the CVA right now. I'm really blessed that I have committees and I have a board of directors that have said now is the time. What you had on your dream list of things that you wanted to see changed and happening at the CVA, now is the time to implement those things and get it going, so that when we hopefully do come out of this within a year or two, that we have all those things up and running. So I'm very, very excited for all kinds of new things that are going to be coming to our lovely building here. For things that we're kind of in need of, I think probably staffing and more hours in the day. We just have so many new and exciting things happening that, just having more than 24 hours in a day would be amazing. I'm sure you guys can all identify with that. Otherwise, yeah, we have art camp going on right now, and I just have to say that the creativity and the talent and the brilliance that our kids have in this community is just phenomenal, and I just feel so happy every day that I get to wake up and I get to come and work with kids in our community. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on at CVA.
Oh yeah, I do like that you've been creative with what you've been putting on Facebook as well. Your little projects and things like that have taken advantage of that with the grandkids too. So thank you for providing that.
Good, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. David Daniels, what's happening in Dinosaur World?
All right, good morning everyone. David Daniels from Colossal Fossils. We're at the Dinosaur Museum. Most exciting things happening with us right now is we've kind of transitioned our museum to more of an online world. So we've had a lot of really cool opportunities. At first back in March, we lost 76 of our 80 in-person library programs. So that's when we went, we kind of screamed inside internally. We practiced our crazy laughs a lot in March and April, but we were able to get most of those libraries back with a webcam, going online and doing programs. We had a big one about mythology and how dinosaurs and other fossils inspired mythological creatures. So we've got that. We have a ton of other opportunities. We're getting new exhibits coming into the museum. So when we can open up, who knows, might be a year or two, we're gonna have one of the best Ice Age exhibits in the Midwest. And we're still working on our T-Rex. We had some delays with that from the manufacturers, and so a little disappointing, but still working on that. As far as what we need, this goes out to everyone. We're all struggling for donations, things like that. But if we look, we could pick any two of our nonprofits and find a common bond between the two of them. What kind of collaborative opportunities are there out there? Pooling resources. If you have an opportunity, here's some business advice, whether you want it or not. If you have an opportunity to do online programs, there are like 1,500 public elementary schools in the state of Wisconsin. There are over 400 libraries in the state of Wisconsin alone. So if you can do online programs, And if Wausau isn't big enough to get all the revenue that you so desperately need, go statewide. That's what we've been doing. In fact, we've had so much success with our statewide programs. We have 2 cities in Wisconsin that are trying to steal us from Wausau. Don't worry, Gene and Sue. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't want to move a Triceratops.
It better not happen. You're too valuable, David.
Exactly, right. Yeah, we're valuable. Other ideas, opportunities for you nonprofits. Again, if you can do online videos, there's these subscription services like Patreon, I don't know how to pronounce it. But it's, people will spend, $5 a month, $10 a month, and you can get these subscription services provided that you're, getting new videos out there to help you make money. And it might be $1,000 a month, it might be $2,000, but this day and age, we can all use that. I'm done.
I was just using the chat a little bit and encouraging everybody else to use the chat as well. But David, would you mind maybe in the chat somewhere during our discussion here, maybe put some of those resources that you have in the chat that people might be able to look them up as well?
Sure, sounds good.
That's great. Thank you for those ideas. Kristen with the Epilepsy of Wisconsin.
Hey guys.
Hi, Kristen.
I'm Kristen Dossel with the Epilepsy Foundation here in Wisconsin. I'm based in Stevens Point, but I would do a lot of work in the Wausau area as well. So I want to say, kudos to everybody. I know this COVID's really threw a loop for all of us, and overcoming some of those struggles has been pretty rewarding that we've been able to do so. So some things that are kind of new and exciting with the foundation. So we transitioned everything virtual, or we're still in the process of doing that with great success. And we're actually serving more people than we anticipated with the change. And so we have been doing what we call virtual meetups weekly with all of our, with our population, and for anybody else that's interested in learning some of that stuff. For example, this week we're doing mental health and epilepsy, and those happen on Thursdays typically. And other things new and exciting, we have launched a national seizure first aid certification for somebody that would like to be certified in seizure first aid. So pretty exciting, and I'm actually the person in Wisconsin that will be facilitating that. So if anybody's interested, let me know. I know with a lot of people being at home now and e-learning and all of that kind of stuff, you potentially are seeing things that you may not, see on a regular basis where a teacher might. So those are some great fun things that are happening with us. And we actually transitioned our summer fundraisers for the whole state virtual. And they were amazing. So we had tons of fun. We raised a lot of money for the state of Wisconsin. We did great here around the Wausau, Stevens Point area. So if anybody has questions about how to run one of those, how do you, I guess anything, PR, all of that kind of stuff. We, learned a lot, and we're going to implement even doing virtual as part of the fundraisers going forward. So having it's hopefully in the future having a in-person fundraiser, but then doing a virtual together, as a lot of people have shown interest. Greatest challenge is finding some of that technology that we need to facilitate some of our online virtual events, as the need obviously came a lot faster than we anticipated. And so just trying to make sure that we can do all of that effectively is probably where we're at for the most right now. But other than that, doing great. And if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to help.
Great. Thanks, Kristen. That probably is something that we could spend the whole hour talking about in sharing ideas. I know we don't like to show our cards too much, but it probably would be worth the conversation on how you are being creative in doing virtual fundraising and how you're coping with all of that in light of COVID. Hopefully we'll have maybe 10 minutes to put that topic on the board toward the end of the afternoon or the session today. So, but I'm going to move on to Ruth from Faith in Action.
Okay, it's been a privilege to work with you all, and I appreciate the funding with that the Center, the Community Foundation has offered, and all their funders. I have a little 4-year-old it's been very difficult to sit still right now. So I work with seniors 60 and older. We provide services to keep them in their homes safely. And a big portion of what we do right now because of COVID is our phone calling. We do safety well checks as well as friendly visiting. Once we were allowed to meet each other, then we encourage them to use their masks and social distancing and meet the voice behind the phone. And many of them have done that. We put out a plea that we needed more phone callers to reach out to our 200 and at that time we had 239 care receivers, and we acquired 55 new volunteers, and that number has stayed up. We only have lost like 9 because it was an initial commitment of 8 weeks, and because they've developed a friendship with these people, obviously the majority are just staying on and they're just continuing, which is wonderful to know that our care receivers are being cared for, finding out if they have any needs, whether it's food securities or just plainly the isolationism, breaking that. We also we made a new partnership with the Wisconsin Medical College, and we have had 20 first-year students contacting, and so they're learning what it's like to work with these people and to get a picture of the person that walks in their office when they are a physician, that there's a history behind what they do, that they're behind the people. Fundraising, we are trying to figure out what we're going to do with that. Obviously, we have had to cancel things just like many of the rest of people. So that's not really here. I'm looking for a volunteer who loves to do website posting, and I am not a social media person, so looking for somebody who would be willing to do social media contacting, that would be really great. So otherwise, things are going all right for us. And obviously I'm working from home, which is generally quiet, and I get a lot accomplished. Our office is open, and we have our volunteer coordinator there 2 days a week, but our phones are always turned over, forwarding the calls, so we get the calls.
Thank you, Ruth. If anybody has ideas for her for someone to work with her social media, feel free to send a note to her in a chat. Chris from Head Start, Chris Lemke. Hi.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me. So we, I'm with Head Start, we serve the early childhood population, 3 to 5-year-olds in Wausau, Schofield, and Mosinee. This year's looking a little different. The teachers just started back on Monday, getting their classrooms ready. We are going to have in person, but we're only going to be having our returners, so returning families, returning kids coming back to the classroom, so we can keep the amount of kids in the classroom to 10 or under. So there's many COVID production plans and continuing plans to be in place, so that, you know, we are really hoping that this can continue and we can see these kids We have not seen them since March. We have been, all the case managers have been in touch with these families throughout the summer, you know, with needs or resources that they may have, but really to bring those kids back in and getting them together, and just a social emotional piece is, you know, huge for these kids. One thing fun that we're going to be starting this year is a pilot resiliency program through Compass Counseling. And right now it's only going to be in 2 classrooms through a limited Head Start grant funding. So I think that would be awesome if we could get it in all of the classrooms.
Hopefully there's some funders in the room that their ears perked up to maybe help you out with that a little bit. Right, Chris? Let's move on to Darcy. Monk Gardens, you've had to be a little creative this year.
Hi, yeah, my name's Darcy Howard, Executive Director for Monk Gardens. Yeah, just mirrored everything everybody else has said. We've definitely had to get creative. Primarily our programming happens seasonally, since currently we don't have a building indoors. And our programming is environmental outdoor education. So while we certainly got creative and put a lot of that online, it's definitely not ideal since we want people to connect with nature. So we have been able to do some of our larger events, and we've just made adjustments. We are lucky in that we are outdoors, which at this time is the safest place to be if you are going to leave your house and interact with others. So we did just hold our Shakespeare weekend where we sold out, and we kept our numbers low, so that sellout was at 60 for each show. So what we're doing moving into fall is we really wanted to help out with parents and students that are kind of stuck inside all day. Wausau's going virtual. So we'll be offering, thanks to the Community Foundation's COVID-19 Fund, an after-school program free of charge from Monday through Thursday that'll focus on just getting the kids outdoors, learning why they're out there, but really being able to interact with the others in a safe manner. In addition to that, Chris, it was nice to see you just now. We are working with Head Start, and so each of those classrooms will be coming out to us for field trips 6 times throughout the year. And, you know, as far as what we're excited about, we actually just started a landscaping consulting program. So again, trying to get creative. We just hired a new horticulturalist, so she'll come out and do some consulting privately. And we are looking into the future to start Marathon County's first nature preschool. So we'll be starting that hopefully fall of 2021. And so we're pretty excited about that. But I would like to throw out there that, as I mentioned, we do have a pavilion, and before the snow hits and it gets really cold, we are open for use. So today we started opening every single day to the public, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. But if you have programs or ideas where you want to do it and you want to bring it outdoors, let me know, and we can try to work something out. We will be hosting in October each Friday and Saturday night the Thriller showing of Wausau Dance, which I know they traditionally have done that in the Grand. They'll be doing a trail event at the Gardens. So I'm open to have those conversations, and I think it's important that we work together, especially in times like these. Thank you.
Great. Those are some really great ideas to collaborate on things. It sounds like Darcy has a venue that might be available to help some of you out with some of the things that you need to do. Donna and Mallory from the Neighbor's Place. You've been working pretty hard these days too.
We have been. Good morning, everyone. So despite the pandemic, pre-pandemic, we were working on remodeling our food bank and our pantry and rolling out our new Safe and Healthy Food Pantry program. The pandemic hasn't stopped that progress. So although we're doing outside distribution only right now with no contact, we are working and moving forward. So thanks so much to the support of the Community Foundation, we've received funding to be able to do that. So in a nutshell, it is just making our pantry environment healthier. So focusing on fruits, vegetables, whole grains, dairies, things that we know, that help the people that we are serving in particular with health disparities. We're also thrilled because we'd received a COVID grant, and many of our guests are walking up to us versus driving because, again, people in poverty, one of the biggest barriers is transportation. So to make their accessing groceries easier for them, we have purchased utility carts that have logos on them, and our guests are able to put their groceries in their cart and safely wheel them home. Food safety is also very important. So we know some people, I'll give you an example. One guest in particular, she was walking 4 miles to our pantry to get food for herself and her children. So you can imagine if you have perishable food in the summer, you have little kids, trying to get those groceries home is a big challenge. The things that we are excited about, and I'll let Mallory talk to our upcoming events, but we are going to be launching a new diaper bank in 2021 called The Baby's Place. So we are working in partnership with United Way, and we're really thrilled to be offering a more robust diaper bank. It will be also focused on basic essentials, in particular feminine hygiene. So we know period poverty is an issue, and same with lack of diapering, adequate diapers. All of those things play into food insecurity. So when families are trading down, making these trade-offs to put food on the table, all of those things definitely are, part of what we're trying to alleviate here. And with the Safe and Healthy too, we'll be thrilled to open our doors again at some point and provide tours so you can all see it. So if you would envision, it's going to look like a grocery store. So it will have glass doors, people can see the food in the walk-ins. They'll be shopping with our volunteers, and basically just really more health focused, and the environment too plays a big role in treating people with dignity and respect. So a lot going on. So we're never a dull moment. Every day is an adventure. All right, Mal, you want to share about Empty Bowls?
She's right. Every day is an adventure. And I would say too, starting this week, we will be doing another run on the Farmers to Families food boxes from the USDA in partnership with United Way. So that has been going over really well. We did a run earlier in the summer, and we'll be doing a few more weeks of that box distribution as well. And I think you touched on all the other new things besides Empty Bowls. So as most of you may know, Empty Bowls is the largest fundraiser for the Neighbors Place, kind of our flagship event. And just with our concern about the community safety, we really wanted to make sure this event was going to be able to be attended by anyone who wanted to, and we wanted to just make sure we could keep everyone as safe as possible. So this event is going to move online. So like so many of us are either canceling fundraisers or trying to find ways to move them virtually. That's what the Neighbors Place is going to be doing with Empty Bowls. So primarily focusing on the sales of bowls online, but there's going to be some other exciting partnerships coming up too. So please keep an eye on that. And I guess in terms of our needs, like all of us, funding is very important now. But I would say also we definitely have a volunteer need as well. So many of our volunteers who have in the past, long-running volunteers who have helped us with our food distribution are still at home and staying safe. So we've had a great turnout, some wonderful volunteers who have come on new and have been really engaged throughout the summer. But a lot of those folks have been maybe school teachers or college students that are now going to be going back to school. So we do, I think, have a new need for volunteers to help with our food distribution. So that's, picking up food, packaging it inside the building for our outdoor distribution, delivering food. And, there's a lot of aspects to this distribution, and we really couldn't do it without volunteers. So that's also a need.
Absolutely.
I think that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Is Kevin on? Kevin Noel? I was hoping to get an update on the nonprofit campus, but
Well, if Kevin's not on, I can speak to it a little bit.
Okay.
With one of the partners in this.
Sure, sure.
So many of you have probably seen on the media, heard about the Cleveland site. So we've hit pause on that. So if you're not aware of the Community Partners Campus, briefly, it is a collaborative effort of many nonprofits in this area to have a shared space. And the goal, of course, is to be more accessible to those we serve. So having everybody under one roof, or many of us under one roof, agencies that make sense. We are exploring other options as far as where we're going to go. We may be building from the ground up. We might be occupying a different building, but there's a lot to be considered. But we are, despite the testing going on in Cleveland, we're going to keep moving forward because it's that important. So we want to keep the momentum going.
Right. We look forward to hearing more about that as it develops. And the BA and Esther Greenheck Foundation, I know, is very, very involved in that, and some of the other foundations in the area. So thank you all for keeping that going. Sherry Wade with Northern Valley Industries.
There, can you guys hear me? Are you able? Oh, wait, let's try that. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Sorry. Hi. Yeah, so I don't know how many.
Sherry, I can't hear you now.
Let's try that. How's that, better?
Perfect.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. So we're at Northern Valley Industries. We work with people, adults that have a disability and are interested in employment. I've been here a year, and in that year we've done quite a bit to kind of transition our focus to helping people find jobs in the community, which we've been doing for a while, but really putting more of a concerted effort into that. It's kind of, I'm glad that we're able to have so many diverse people talking on this, because I'm really interested. I used to be more involved with the nonprofit community in Wausau, and I left for a bit. Coming back and seeing all the progress everybody's made is really exciting. So what we have right now, COVID has impacted our services because many of the people we work with are being told, just maybe by where they live or their guardian support, that they need to no longer come to work because of their at risk. So that did really impact our program pieces. We went down, I don't know, we were serving over 100 people, and now we're back to where we were. We're about up to 80 now, but we went down for quite a few months where people were being asked to stay home, not by us. So that changed our programming quite a bit, and we've reevaluated now, and we are relaunching something called Stepping Stones, which is a program for people with disabilities and those that are kind of interested in employment, not sure where to go, not sure what to do, not sure what they might be interested in. The folks that we work with, many of those have had limited exposure to work in general, particularly work in the community. And so where they might even start is what the Stepping Stone program does. And so we're excited to get that launched. So I'm glad to hear some of you are open to tours, because that's also one of the things we're looking to do. What other places can you connect in the community where there's, just disability or not? What do you have experience, or what can you experience? And so I was glad to hear some of the things that are opening, and also looking at ways that we can collaborate. So we work with people who have typically some pretty significant barriers to accessing the community. And so if there's ways that we can coordinate, and as I continue to listen to new opportunities that everyone's offering, I'm sure I'll be reaching out. As far as our, we're in an interesting environment. We're a social enterprise, so we also have some revenue coming from our production work that we do. And so we haven't necessarily been as heavily hit. And I can say that, I don't know if this is a good or bad, but it's nice to not really have to kind of go to some of the funding sources for our basic program needs, because we are able to support that with some of our other work that we do. But I'm really glad to be a part of this group, because you guys, everybody just does such great work. And in my world, people with disabilities that we work with oftentimes have not taken advantage of the program and services that you guys provide. So I want to be one of those conduits to help support that and connect, better connect, so that both people with disabilities and people without disabilities can learn about each other. So that's kind of where we're headed.
Great, thank you, Sherry. How about, excuse me, Sheila and Nicole from NTC Foundation?
Nicole, you need to come off mute.
This is actually
Hello.
Sheila.
Hi.
Nicole, are you on too?
I am on too, yeah.
Okay, you can go first.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I just started at the NTC Foundation, and I get to work with Sheila, who's been there for quite some time, and so it's really awesome, kind of more like a mentorship for me. So, and this whole experience with COVID has been a really strange learning experience, something that nonprofit education does not teach you for, so it's very interesting.
Nicole came on right before we went remote, so she's been a real trooper, and actually she's been very creative in helping us as we've needed to kind of pivot and find new ways to reach out to donors and students. Right now at NTC, our main focus is on helping our learners, who some are struggling with different issues, ranging from everything to food insecurity, to childcare issues, to internet issues, laptop issues, anything that, a lot of barriers that are really kind of in their way of continuing their education. So most of our time since we went remote, which was in middle of March, was in helping focus on ways to help our students actually persevere and graduate, because many of them are essential workers in our community. So a lot of our funding has gone to help with just their needs in the moment, which are ever changing. So we started a Student Resilience Fund, and that's where we've been putting most of our focus as fundraising, because even in March, when we first went remote, we really couldn't fully predict what this was going to look like, or what a student's needs could be, as we're looking at going into another semester of kind of a hybrid approach to education. So that fund was set up to be very, I guess, loosely defined. It could help support our food pantry. It could help support our student emergency fund, which has been very valuable to our students, helping with anything from utilities to internet to childcare to food, to actually paying rent for a month just to help them get caught up a little bit. So that fund is where we're putting most of our emphasis with our fundraising, as we're continuing to, we won't have our day for NTC students where we actually go out and visit donors. We'll be doing more, virtual phone calls, Zooms, just, anything that we can do to stay connected to our donors. But really with the emphasis being on our students right now. So anything the foundation does right now is just to help with the immediate needs of our students, so they can continue to attend school, graduate, and get out into the community. So it's been a challenge, but like all of you, we've become creative, and it's kind of amazing what you can do with technology. And Nicole's been a big part of that, because she's not afraid to try new things, and she's kind of pulling me along sometimes. So kudos go to her, and actually to all of you who have your great ideas too, and we all share ideas and inspire each other. So thanks everyone.
Sure. And thank you, Sheila.
Hey, Sheila, just thank you to you and NTC for the additional courses that you're offering. I know that there have been some communications going out, free online courses, TED Talks, a number of things. And I just think many have probably seen it and hopefully have used it, but kudos to the team there for doing that. Keep maybe even with this group, because this is a time I think people are taking that time to fill the toolkit with some additional resources, and especially free of charge for that, more of that development of people, which I love. So thank you. Please pass it along, and thank you too for the work you're doing.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. As I'm watching the time, we are going to be running a little bit late, but we do want to hear from everyone yet. So Diane, I'd like to know a little bit about your program.
Hi, everybody. I'm Diane Durante, and I am representing Patriot Canines of Wisconsin. And we're a relatively new NPO in the area. And what we do is provide training for a veteran, how to train their own service dog at no cost for the veteran. Normally, service dogs cost about $30,000 in order for somebody to be able to get. Traditionally, also with service dogs that's already trained. Our program is really one of 5 in the nation that we know of where the focus is training the veteran how to train their own dog. And that's where the therapeutic aspect of the programming is we have individuals, traumatic brain injury, PTSD, military sexual trauma, who are really, they've exhausted medication options, they've exhausted their therapy, they're feeling very dejected from some of the VA services. And this is kind of like their last hope. There's 22 veterans a day who commit suicide, and it's a very, very tragic population, and to know that. So our program is really, really invested in turning those statistics around. Programming is like 24 weeks for our individuals. And they just learn the skills on how to have their own dog. Part of it is community access, so our veterans need practice in how do we work with the dog in our training facility, but also how do we integrate our dog as a therapeutic tool in the community. Just like everybody else, financially and stuff like that we're looking for donors. We have 3 opportunities for raising funds all in the same week. The week that COVID shut down. It was, very unfortunate in that regard. One of the things we did this year is a viewing of To Be of Service. You can actually watch this movie on Netflix if you're interested in how the process of training service dog looks like. And they actually feature an individual from Green Bay, Wisconsin. We have people coming from Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. But most people are local. Marathon County is one of the largest counties of population with veterans as well. What's new? We just put out 2 commercials out on TV, so you may have seen one of our commercials. We are, let's see here. We are going to be getting some puppies from another NPO in North Carolina. So we're excited to be getting that. Some of our biggest needs, we need a mental health therapist. This individual will be paid, but it is integral part of our program that our veterans are supported. Whether it's when we're in the community, in the facility, it's just an incredible asset to have that. And I know it's a mental health crisis everywhere in our area, and to find somebody is hard for everybody, but we really, really need somebody. Let's see here. Other things, we're looking for puppy raisers and foster raisers. People can go to our website if they're interested or know somebody who's interested in becoming a puppy raiser or a foster. We are also looking for board members who might be able to bring something to our organization. The other thing, let's see here. The other thing is we are also hoping to partner at some point with somebody who can do outdoor types of activities. Many of our individuals are immune compromised. In light of not being able to fundraise some of our traditional ways, we could still do things outdoors, obviously, with dogs. We were looking at doing something for 100 Block prior to COVID and trying to get something over the summer. Obviously, that all got foiled and stuff. So But yeah, lots of different needs, and we're excited to be in the community and start being a facet for people to be able to come and have more resources connecting our veterans.
Great, Diane. I may be following up with you to make sure that we have all your contact information to keep you on our list for information. I am excited to hear from the United Way. Tara, you and Sarah are with us. It's been fun to partner with you in the COVID-19 Community Response Fund. Tara, myself, and a couple of other members of the committee have been meeting for the past 4.5 months weekly, at least weekly, to review applications that have been coming in for COVID-19. So we've built a little relationship over the last 4 months, and it's fun to see you. It's fun to see your face, Tara.
Yours as well. Thanks, Sue. I think Sarah had to duck off, so you are just getting me this morning now. But hi, everyone. As Sue said, it's been a lot of fun. Just learning more about all the different programs and the innovative ideas and creativity that everyone is coming up with in ways to keep our community thriving right now. So thank you all for that. Just a couple of quick United Way of Marathon County updates. August 18th, we have partnered with WAOW and 9 different United Ways in our kind of local Wisconsin space to help just provide awareness and gain some campaign dollars for all of those different United Ways. So Channel 9 WAOW is highlighting 10 different United Ways and encouraging people to give as part of our Kickoff 4 campaign. So certainly watch that. You'll have some great opportunity to learn about our United Way and some programs, as well as many others across the state. And then our actual campaign is kicking off virtually this year on August 25th. So if people are interested in taking part in that, you can visit our website to learn more on that and how to get involved. Community Fest, which we typically offer in September, which is a very large in-person event. We are not holding this year due to COVID. However, we are still encouraging and providing our United We Can opportunity, which is the sculpture building out of non-perishable food items through the cans. So we are still doing that and encouraging businesses to build their food sculptures, and then those will be shared virtually and people can vote on them and still participate and have fun with that, all in attempts to get food donations in for local food pantries. So very excited about that. As Mallory and Donna mentioned, the USDA food boxes. So the first one is in August is tomorrow, and that will be at where the farmers market is held in Wausau on River Drive. So about 5:30 p.m. people can go to pick up a box of food. And then I think it's the next 2 weeks after this week as well where those will be held. So it's kind of the short and sweet of what we've got going on right now. Thank you.
Great. How about Olivia from Conservatory of Music?
Hi, good morning. Good to see you. So I'm Olivia Hill, the Executive Director of the Wausau Conservatory of Music. And let me open up my list. I had a little thing I wrote. So I similarly, I think we mirror a lot of the transitions that our other nonprofits have experienced, going to virtual and really trying to take a good look at our organization and how we can serve our community even better. So that's been really the driving force these past couple of months. Some really, I guess, wonderful successes that we're really excited about is we are trying to partner as much as possible with some new programs and organizations. And so I just want to put it out there that I definitely welcome anyone to contact me or any of our team that might have an idea or even just want to brainstorm. That is really a focus that we have moving forward. So for example, we are offering 2 programs with the UWSP Continuing Education Program. So we're partnering with them to be able to provide just more services and reach a broader audience. So that's big for us. This summer, I started a pilot program. It's one little piece that's going to be a part of a larger piece, but essentially we did a free musical story time. It was virtual, and we did 4 sessions where yes, it's free. Anyone can sign up. It was for the young kiddos. And we had a lot of really great response and some new families that joined us for that. So it was a really nice pilot program that will be continuing into the fall semester. That program is one of the many programs that I'm trying to develop for a community partnership series, essentially program called Access Arts. So it's part of the dream moving forward of how do we continue to provide free arts education experiences for our community. So that's what I mean. If you have any ideas how to partner for this Access Arts program, I would love to hear from you. In addition, part of Access Arts that we're sort of dreaming up right now, just to kind of throw some ideas out there, maybe you could be a part of it. We're developing a free bilingual music and arts program called Exploring Encantamos right now. So we're developing that. I do have a facilitator, but we're in need of other partners and sharing ideas as well as program development. So I'd love to invite anyone who that might spark an interest with. It doesn't just have to be Spanish either. I do have a Spanish facilitator, but we are open to exploring all cultures and languages in this program. In addition, I am in the process of dreaming up a partnership and a program with an organization called Kaiser's Room in New York City, this organization has faculty teaching artists in musical theater who are on Broadway who work with students with special needs. They do have a virtual program, and my goal is to bring that program to our population here in our community and just pilot it out, see what we can do virtually first, with the goal of eventually training some of our faculty or community members. It doesn't have to be someone employed at the conservatory currently to then be able to provide that service in person as well. I would love to try to pair that with any other services and providers in the area, as we are not the leading knowledge base on how to teach and work with students with special needs. We want to serve this population, but we want to also work with those who have experience and know the research around it. So I welcome anyone with that. So those are some of the successes and really exciting things that we're planning right now. Our biggest need, I have a list, but I'm going to throw something out I think that I haven't heard yet, but really some additional guidance that is focused on nonprofits around the new changing financial climate and requirements. So for example, I have attended a lot of webinars on the PPP loans, but it would be really wonderful to have one that was nonprofit focused. I've attended a couple, and they vary. In addition, for example, I think that there's some new payroll tax policies that have just come out that really do affect potentially us as well. So it'd be nice to have a nonprofit focused one. In addition, let's see, I would be really interested in seeing what kind of professional services, or we talked about the need for staffing. So is there any professional services or staffing that maybe we can share with another nonprofit organization, such as an accountant or someone who specializes in HR? So definitely reach out to me. I know it's a wide variety of needs that everybody has in those areas, but it's something of interest that I've been looking into, as we cannot support our own staff person full-time in that. And then, oh, this is my daughter, Ivy. Hello. And then lastly, one of the areas of need are really just reaching out to all those new audiences saying, we are here. Can you wait? Can you please wait, please? Sorry. So and saying, we have these wonderful services to provide for you. Please let us be a part of your life. So just sharing as much as we can what we're doing. So yes, I think that's the big and small of it. Thank you.
Yeah, Olivia, that's very interesting, because as you were speaking, someone else just prior to that had made the comment about possibly sharing professional staff, and maybe that is a conversation that we should continue amongst ourselves, or try to get a group together that might have some needs that you could work together on.
Yeah.
Sharing support in some way. So sounds like it's an idea that's on a couple organizations' minds. Is Blake with us? Otherwise, we'll move right on to Sharon Belton from WIPS.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Sharon Belton. I'm the research director at the Wisconsin Institute for Public Policy and Service. We are part of the UW system based at the UW at Stevens Point at Wausau campus. And as part of our mission, one of our objectives is to try to get individuals more engaged in the civic health of their community and to help provide the community with information about important public policy topics. And obviously a very important public policy topic right now is COVID, and in particular, returning students to school. And we had noticed over the summer that there was really an information gap with respect to students' perceptions and thoughts and feelings about the topic of returning to school. And we wanted to fill that information gap. And so right now, we're literally in the middle of a project, thanks to funding from the Community Foundation and United Way's COVID Fund and resources that we have at WIPS. We just completed 5 focus group discussions with 47 students across Marathon County to get their voice and input and ideas about the topic of school reopening. And so we're working at lightning speed to analyze the information that we received from students with the goal of having information to report back to school leaders within the next week to 2 weeks at the latest. And this is just an example of the kind of work that we do at WIPS. Another area that we've tried to fill with respect to COVID is to help provide information about COVID and ways that individuals can keep safe, particularly in the Hmong and Hispanic communities, and to have more cultural sensitivity to some of the barriers that those community populations have in terms of both understanding COVID, but also what they need to do to keep themselves safe. So, you know, at any given point in time, we have a number of different things that we're working on and rely on a lot of outside support. Even though we are part of the UW system, a lot of the projects that we do really require outside funding, and we're grateful for the support that we have. And we're also a resource for organizations that may need assistance with strategic planning, outcomes measurement. If you have mounds and mounds of data but are not quite sure what to do with it or what to make sense of it, you know, we try to be a resource for nonprofit organizations, businesses, governments that may not want to go with a high-powered, expensive consultant to help them with a problem. I mean, we really try to partner with organizations to help lend a hand in an area that not many nonprofits have the ability to do in-house with respect to, you know, very few nonprofits have research expertise in-house. So thank you for your time, and really appreciated hearing what everybody has going on.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for the work you're doing. Stephanie Daniels from the YMCA.
Yes, hi, I am the branch director of the Aspires branch. So big things for us is we have camps still running through the end of the summer. Childcare was something we did throughout the whole pandemic. So we, on August 17th, moved to emergency care for most of, we offered it to all people. We served about 40 families right away. And then starting right around beginning of May, our regular families started coming back just because some had returned to work. So emergency childcare was pretty big for us at both branches. The biggest need that we're seeing right now is the care in the school year and parents who are kind of in a predicament that they still have to work for the Wausau School District. So we did open up a school age program at camp starting the first week of school. And we opened that registration about a week and a half ago, and we're over halfway filled already. So the need is definitely there. We're capping it at about 80, like 84 kids. And then we have the Wausau branch if there's overflow. So those are kind of the big things, and trying to serve our aging population as well with the landing, which was supposed to, the whole building, downtown building was supposed to open up brand new, but it's kind of slowly opened up certain parts. So Kate is doing a really good job of reaching out to that population. We do a lunch every Wednesday and a lot of Zoom calls. We did a yoga in the park last Wednesday, and that was really well received, as well as some live music. So I'm just trying to hit all little bitties to the older folks. So it's been a wild ride, that's for sure. So that's kind of what's happening with us.
I agree. It's been a wild ride for everyone. Do we have Samantha with us from the YW? Okay. Otherwise, Emily Weber.
Hi guys, thanks for everyone for sharing. It's been really interesting to hear from everyone and what's going on currently with all of your organizations. But like Sue said, my name's Emily Weber. I'm the outreach coordinator for North Central Conservancy Trust. We're the local land trust in central Wisconsin. And we work primarily to protect land through the development of conservation easements with landowners, but you don't need to just own land to be a part of our organization. So I'm new. My job, I've been in this role for a year now, and it's a new position. So as outreach coordinator, I'm working on, bringing new ideas, new ways that we can partner. So a networking opportunity like this is perfect, and I'm so happy to be here. I hope I get to work with some of your organizations and partner with you guys. But new and exciting things, like everyone's been saying, we've been having to come up with new virtual ideas for some of our events. We've had to reschedule a few events and cancel some, but we are still having 2 in-person events because they'll be outdoors, and we were able to luckily do those social distancing. So one is coming up on the 22nd of August, and that is our grand opening of our new office, which was a huge project that we that underwent all of last year, and we moved in this winter. And it was the old DNR Ranger Station in Stevens Point, and so it needed lots of renovating, and we had a team of volunteers come in and completely gut it, and we were able to move in this winter. So we were super excited about that, and luckily still going to have like a ribbon cutting ceremony and some other activities for August 22nd to showcase that hard work coming to fruition. So that's happening. And then we'll also have one other in-person event for this year on September 12th. It's called Botany at the Bog, and it will be in Marathon County at one of our public lands places that's owned by the Ice Age Trail Alliance. And we worked with the Ice Age Trail Alliance to put a conservation easement on that property. So it's one of our protected lands, but it's open to the public. So we'll have a little tour of that property, and it's on Rice Lake. So we are encouraging people to bring a kayak or canoe to explore Rice Lake while they're there. So those are our 2 in-person events coming up, and we have tons of other exciting things I could share, but I know we're running short on time. So you guys can check out our new website that we got up this year. I can put some more info on the chat as well if you're interested. But one thing I did want to mention that kind of came to my head while I was listening to everyone else is our other land trusts in Wisconsin have successful youth programs, and we would love to have one. So I would love to pilot a youth program to connect children to nature. We have several public lands that NCCT protects. One we own in Fee Simple, and we just actually worked with the city of Stevens Point to acquire property adjacent to Buckhole Park on the Wisconsin River. So those are just some places that we could offer field trips. We could do this youth program. So if anyone's open to talking to me about ideas or collaborating on that, please reach out to me. And then I guess for our greatest needs, again, like everyone, funding is a big thing, especially this year since our fundraising events have either been canceled or are just not happening at all. So funding is a big thing, but also our major goal, and especially in my role as an outreach coordinator, would be spreading awareness of our organization in general and what we do. We cover an 8-county service area. So Adams, Clark, Lincoln, Marathon, Portage, Taylor, Waushara, and Wood. And our base is in Marathon and Portage. So to try and extend beyond that also while working still with Marathon and Portage and just get into those rural communities and let them know we're here. We'd love for you to be a new member or talk to us about what we can offer you. So that's a big need for us. And again, thank you for hosting this great networking opportunity. I'm glad to be here.
No, thank you for joining us, Emily. Is Catherine with us? Catherine Cassidy? Okay. Well, we really do want to hear from our funders. What's going on. One of the questions that I put out there is whether or not anyone would be interested in coordinating a Zoom conference call to discuss the idea that came up about shared administrative staff, whether that would be an accountant or those kind of things. We're hoping to, it looks like there's enough interest to at least get a couple people together on that, so we may put that out in the next month or so. So let's talk with, let's see what's going on with some of our funding partners. I see Andy with the Dudley Foundation. And Andy, do you have some money available or anything like that?
Yeah, so I'm the guy you look at for some money, I guess. No, but for everyone who might not know me, I'm Andrew Dudley Shannon. People call me Andy. I work here at the Dudley Foundation. Boy, I've been busy. Lots of things going on. A lot of internal stuff that I've been working on. New updated investment policy statements, kind of adapting to the whole COVID. I've been calling it a storm, the COVID storm. So really what I would just say, and what I appreciate about this is just getting a background from all of you and from all the nonprofits in our community, because it's kind of hard to just go in one direction and kind of singularly pick and choose, or look at the issues and what's going on organization by organization. So to get a big group together like this, I think is extremely important. So I'm sorry too, I was a little bit late. I had 2 meetings this morning too, so I'm overbooked, so to speak. So really what I would say for all of you, and a lot of you have already begun the application process with us. We just entered our Q1 for this fiscal year, so we are ready to tackle a lot of problems and issues with what's going on. So what I would recommend to all of you, if you are interested in looking to apply for a grant, I would recommend just going to our foundation website at dudleyfoundationwausau.org. If you have any questions or anything like that, I'm always available. My email is andrewdudleyshannon, all one word, @gmail.com. Give me a couple of days maybe to respond with everything going on, but yeah, really we just we're here to help, and we want to be as effective as possible with solving a lot of different issues going on. So really I would just ask you all to continue to reach out to us. It's kind of tough when we might not know all of the problems going on or all of the funding scenarios. So if you need assistance, I would reach out. So with that, I don't really have too much else to say. I'm kind of in a listening mode with all of you right now. So yeah, just feel free to get in contact with me. I would love to sit down and have a talk.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you. Do we have Jenny and Hillary with us yet from Abbey Bank? I know that Jenny was hoping to introduce you all to Hillary, who will be taking over some of those duties with the Abbey Bank Foundation. I think they may have had to leave. Tammy from the City of Wausau, do you have anything to say about block grants or anything exciting happening there? Kelly, I see we had a chat message from Kelly Zegzebski. I'm not sure if she needed to leave. Kelly?
She had to leave.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly, for everything. Anybody else from the Community Foundation? Jean, Carla? Otherwise, I do want to talk a little bit about the COVID catalog. I've been teasing that for a while, and I just want another 5 minutes if we can have it. Carla, you're okay? Jean?
You know what? I'm good. I was just waiting to see if Jean wanted to go out of true courtesy there, but I want to keep it moving along. I'm really happy to be on here. It is great to hear what everybody's doing. Hopefully we can continue to be a resource. I've been messaging people throughout the call. Thank you for the great work you're doing. I think the future is really bright, especially the times we're in. So please continue to let us know how we can help. We've got a strong team here to work side by side with all of you, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Okay. So thank you, Sue, for doing this, and I'm going to mute my line.
Okay, great. Great. From the timing of this, I can tell that in the future we probably will be scheduling these for about an hour and a half rather than just 1 hour, because I think it does take that long to get through with information. In the future, we will likely have the sessions be a little bit more topic driven. A couple of the things that came up today is the shared staff. I think I would like to have that conversation continue even before our next scheduled nonprofit exchange, and maybe we could get something scheduled in the next month or so with that topic. The other thing, creativity in fundraising in the midst of what's going on, that might be another topic that we will use. But for now, the Community Foundation, we're really excited about having partnered with the United Way for the past 4.5 months with the COVID-19 Community Response Fund. Between the two organizations and our efforts, we were able to raise $500,000 and nearly $500,000. At this point, there is just over $30,000 remaining in that fund. So if you have ideas that need funding for the vital needs of the Community Response Fund is an opportunity for you to still apply for funding. We do meet on a weekly basis, but we do see that particular effort is probably coming to an end, or at least being changed in some way. United Way is just starting, as Tara indicated, their annual campaign to raise funds. That's really where they need to put their effort right now, and addressing the needs of the community through the work that they do on a regular basis. But the Community Foundation has an opportunity because we are able to connect donors with the needs of the community. And one of the things that we have through the software programs that we have is an opportunity to put out a catalog of the needs of the community. We'll be doing a Q&A on this next Tuesday, so you'll be getting an invitation for that this afternoon. So today you're just going to get a taste of what the Impact Catalog is. It's going to be an online crowdsourcing campaign. We're going to be really working hard to market, and it's a very short campaign, but it's a way for us to reach out to our donors. It's a way for us to reach out to the community at large to try to raise some money for organizations for specific projects and programs that are the needs of those organizations because of COVID-19 and the pandemic. Jenna has a survey if we could put that survey out there now, Jeremy or Jenna, just wondering how your organization is impacted right now due to COVID-19. So if you could just take a second to fill out that survey. How is your organization operating at this point? COVID-19, your operations are back to normal, you're doing business as usual, you're moderately impacted or significantly struggling. What would be the answer to that question?
First thing tomorrow morning.
Feel free to give us some answers. In the meantime, I'll just talk a little bit more about the COVID-19 catalog. What we're looking for, we will list about 15 to 20 organizations. So there will be an application process to be chosen to be a part of the catalog. We're looking for specific programs that will address a need of the community now, serving the vital needs of the community. It will be a little bit softer with the vital needs part of it as compared to the COVID relief fund. But you must be a 501c3 organization or a consortium. So it could be the Marathon County Hunger Task Force. So it could be a group of organizations working together, or it may be specifically the Neighbor's Place. So we'll be looking at applications. And again, this is a teaser. You'll hear more next week. But in order to participate on it, you will help with the advertising of the program, try to get people to give to your particular need. And once it's all done, at the end of the campaign, the Community Foundation provides you with both a check and a list of who donated to your cause, and the campaign is completed. We're looking at this being a relatively quick turnaround. We'll be looking at, the next slide would be, we'll ask you to have applications submitted between August 15 and 25. It's a very short application on our online system. We'll do a Zoom conference call next Tuesday to give you a little bit more information on this. And the catalog itself only runs for 1 month. We're looking for very fast, very quick response from the community. Again, looking at the timing of that as not to affect organizations' year-end fundraising appeals, which may happen in November and December. Also trying to avoid encroaching on the United Ways kickoff, which is happening this month. We just think that might be an optimal timeline to do that. Very quick, very fast little campaign that we'll be doing. So the Impact Catalog, join us next week to hear a little bit more about that. You know, that will be organizations of every type that will be applying. It'll be arts organizations, it'll be human service organizations. It'll be open for anyone to apply to be a part of that catalog, because you all really do add to the vibrancy of the community. But not everyone will be selected to be a part of it. So let's watch for that. And then looking at just some of the things, this is a timeline that will be sent to you as well. Oh, do we have our poll results, Jenna?
Sorry, this is a different poll. I don't know if
we have the results of that last one. I'm sorry, I'm shooting kind of quick right now, trying to end up. Yeah, most organizations were moderately impacted, and some of them are significantly struggling. I can see no one's really back to normal right now. You know, we're in a different world right now. So just some thoughts on the Impact Catalog, and I'm sorry I went through that very quickly. I'm trying to be respectful of your time, but just kind of curious what your thoughts are on this. You're either excited and will be applying, you're interested in learning more, or you think that this might not be a fit for you. So just kind of curious where you're at with that. Okay, And then just to give you just a taste of what's going to be happening with the Community Foundation, you'll be getting a calendar. I put a calendar together for the next year on our application deadlines for community enhancement grants. You'll also be getting a calendar of the nonprofit exchange dates, but also something that's coming up in October, thanks to the Wisconsin Public Service Foundation. We are still trying to do nonprofit lunch and learns. You'll lunch and learn from your own office or home, but we'll be doing a session called the Do's and Don'ts of the Application Process. And we have Teresa Collins from Beacon Organizational Consulting. She'll be doing a 2-hour workshop October 15. Jenna, remind me, is that open on our website to register for that already? That is
it is not yet.
Okay, that'll probably be open by the end of the week. It is a free webinar, thanks to Wisconsin Public Service and the Community Foundation for putting that together. The do's and don'ts of the application process. It's been asked for. What is a good proposal? What is a bad proposal? The next nonprofit exchange right now is scheduled for November 10, but we'll probably throw another one in on one of the topics that we just talked about today. But November 10, I see that as being a pitch day. And a couple people gave examples today what I would think of as being a pitch idea, and that might be something like, Darcy, your idea with the Monk Gardens, your preschool idea, and the yurts that you are planning to build. You might do a pitch idea at the next nonprofit exchange. So we'll be sending out a notice on that, and again, there'll probably be just a short application for you to be able to pitch your idea that day. We'll maybe take 10 organizations and have them pitch in, and it will be not only a pitch for potential funding, but maybe for potential ways of collaborating with other nonprofit organizations. So that's the idea of the November 10 nonprofit exchange. Okay. So with that, we are just curious, and we will be looking for your feedback. We'll be looking for your feedback. These nonprofit exchanges are for you. We want them to be helpful for you. Give us some ideas on things that we can do to make this a helpful time for you to get together as well. So with that, I don't think I have much more to add. Does anyone else have any last minute comments? Otherwise, we will say goodbye for now. Thank you very much for everyone with your comments in the chat area. This particular session has been recorded and could be made available for you if you ask. So just send an email to Jenna and she'll make sure that you get a link to the recording. Does that make sense, Jenna? Is that the way we want to do it?
Yes, I also might in the future put these on our website, so they'll be available there if you would like to access them.
With that, I really appreciate everyone sharing with us this morning. We'll keep massaging this process, and we'll make it good for all of you. Thank you.